Hello viewers, we meet on this week's episode of Crime Watch. On this platform, we seek to create a conducive environment for police-public partnerships in fighting crime. I'm your host, Tendekai Dandaratsi. It's good to have you along. As the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we continue to encourage members of the public to adhere to COVID-19 regulations in order to curb the spread of this novel virus. The police will continue to be on the ground enforcing these regulations, and anyone found on the wrong side of the law will be arrested. Since the onset of the national lockdown on the 30th of March 2020, police have arrested 403,544 people for violating lockdown regulations. Still on COVID-19 issues, ZRP arrested 3 foreign nationals and 1 Zimbabwean national for operating non-essential business during the lockdown. They were sent to courts where they were convicted and sentenced. The foreign nationals were sentenced to 40,000 Zimbabwean dollars fine or 2 months imprisonment, whilst the Zimbabwean national was sentenced to 5,000 Zimbabwean dollars fine or 20 days imprisonment. From COVID-related issues, we now move on to other arrests for different crimes. ZRP Maborane in Harare recently recovered a motor vehicle that had been stolen. This comes hard on the use of another recovery of 2 vehicles in 2 consecutive days. Let us hear more.
We received a case of unlawful entry and theft at Westgate Post. Upon visiting the scene, complainant led us to the 2 suspects who were living in the same neighborhood. We recovered the property from the suspects. Out of interest, we decided to scrutinize the vehicle which was parked outside the suspect's house. That's when we noted that the vehicle licensing disc wasn't tallying with the registration number. We carried out further investigations and we gathered that it was a stolen vehicle. We handed over the case to CID Vehicle Theft Squad.
Vandalism of public utilities continues to be experienced in the country, and police are making significant arrests and recoveries. Recently, CID Minerals Flora and Fauna Unit, Harare, arrested 2 people for theft of copper cables and recovered copper weighing over 2 tons, which were suspected to have been stolen from ZESA, Tel1, and National Railways of Zimbabwe.
Currently, we are holding 2 suspects who were found in possession of stolen copper cables and wires. The 2 suspects were arrested in Hatfield after we had received a tip-off from the members of the public informing us that these suspects were preparing to take the copper outside the country. On the arrest, they also mentioned that the copper was vandalized from our public utilities. The copper is approximately 2 tons, and this shows the magnitude in which these people were doing. We have been receiving numerous cases of vandalism in and around Harare, and we want to thank the public for bringing this to our attention. We have teams that have been on patrol, and the teams are still on patrol, and they are going to make sure all those that are involved are brought to book. We also want to urge members of the public not to engage in such type of activities as they will find themselves behind bars.
In a related matter, CID Minerals Flora and Fauna Unit Bulawayo also arrested 2 people for theft of copper cables in the western suburbs of Bulawayo.
Recently we arrested 2 accused persons, Polite Ngube and Simon Tafuma, from the western suburbs. We received a tip-off from members of the public to the effect that Toyota Ice Combi, which might be involved in the vandalization of ZESA electric cables in the western suburbs. We waylay an ambush for the motor vehicle and managed to identify the motor vehicle. There were 5 occupants in the motor vehicle. Then we managed to arrest 2 accused persons. We further investigated into the matter, and they revealed to us where they cut the ZESA cables in Popoma area. 6 rows of copper cables were recovered with approximate value of $12,000.
Vandalism of public utilities is a serious offense which carries a mandatory sentence of up to 10 years imprisonment. We urge you to report all those involved in these deals. Moving on, Chivu district is experiencing a number of robbery cases along Harare Beit Bridge Highway.
The road is under construction, so there are some detours and potholes along the road. So criminals are taking advantage of the bad state of the road to intercept motorists, especially in the detours and where the road is bad with potholes. So normally they target those vehicles which are traveling slowly, and they cut the turns, and another vehicle will be following behind, loading the loot from the cargoes. Another issue is whereby motorists experience breakdowns in the detours, and robbers will take advantage of them and pounce on them, rob them of their property and valuables. Also, they can block the roads using stones or logs, or even drive some cattle into the road. When motorists slow down to avoid that blockage, the criminals will take advantage and pounce on them. We are urging members of the public to be on the lookout for these criminals, and also to supply information to the police so that we use that information to break into these robbery cases.
On that note, we take a short break. Join us in the second segment. We are now in the second segment of Crime Watch, and thank you for staying with us. It is every parent and guardian's responsibility to protect children from any form of abuse. However, others choose to do exactly the opposite. Let us follow this sad story.
Where shall the children hide? Where shall the minors seek refuge? Who will protect them? Who will look after them when those entrusted to look after them turn monsters? I'm at Bramfield Farm, that is in Nyabira, about 36 kilometers northwest of Harare. But there is a cry for help that never came. Tinotenda, not a real name, was raped by a very close relative. Let's follow this sad story.
Mukukura kwake mwana wangu munhu angachifara ende angasingatsamwiriwo amoti shamwari dzake dzakauya waifara nadzo zvokuti saka ipapo mashure kweimomo tikazoona mwana wangu mufaro wake angachiita kuuya auchaziriwo. Mwana wangu agara akabatikana. Vandamubvunza mwana akanditi mama hapana. Ndipo ndakamubvunza nenge kairi here. Saka mashure kweizvozvo uri musi wemandi ndipo ndakatogara pasi tubva ndatomubvunza mwana. Zvanzi mama akanditi ini ndisaudze mama vanozondicheka nebanga.
Mukoma wangu aiuya pano tejidzana aitamba nevanhu. Saka ndikona kazonzwa vanoita kuti zvaita mukoma wako izvi so saka zvikunyanya ndibata pane dambudziko rakaita mukoma wangu akandisira chironda.
Inini pandakanzwa nyaya iyi ndakabatikana zvokuti manesi akanditi mama musanyanye kubatikana. Akanditi mama munofanira kuzvitairira musazviise mumusoro. Mariziva kuti mwana wenyu abuda zvakanaka, mwana wenyu haana chirwere. Asi ndazombwanza hangu pfungwa nekuti pese panenge ndangogarawo ndangoona kana asururuka ndinokuti ndomudedza kuti iye asapfungawo pfungwa dzipi idzodzo kuti inini ndakakanganiswa muupenyu hwangu.
Ngatimonitei vanasikana, tisatruste anamukoma navani vakauya tichiti ihama yangu tarisai kwazosvika yedu kuda kuchengeta hama takazosvika kundibatira mwana zvirova zvinhu zvinonyadzisa.
Ndokumbirawo mimi nevana vasikana mese mufanira kudzidzisawo vana vedu kuti vana vedu makaonawo arume ndavadyewo kandi waona kuti munhu asina mbonzwisisika kuti munhu akaita sei unotaurira mama wako nenguva.
We also had the opportunity to talk to Elina Almando, the village health worker for Brownfield Farm, who was also part and parcel of the events leading to the arrest of this culprit.
Tiri nzvimbo ine tichimirira zvinenge zvaitika macases kuabhuswa kwevana ingava mhirizhonga mudzimba nevabereki nevamadzimai nevarume vanenge vachishupana. Tinoenda chimbonobatsira kuderedza mhirizhonga. mukutaura nemwana uyu wekubatwa anova ane 10 years akatorerwa munin'ina wake waitamba naye anova ane gore akatorerwa nemusungwa wedu uyu kuti akamuti iwewo kana uchida mwana uyu otonditeera kuti iye awane mukana wekuita zvaaida kuita pamwana wedu uyu. Saka paakateera akantowana musungwa wedu atobvisa bhurugwa, ndo paakamubata mwana. Saka mwana uyu akabva abuda achitiza mushure mekunge abatwa chibharo. Ndokubuda ndokwakaita kuti vanhu vese vaive kunze vazive kuti pane zvakanga zvaitika mumba umu. Ndo patakazotanga kufambisa nyaya iyi. Ngatiwe nekubatana mukati menzvimbo dzedu dzatinenge tichishandira, tova nekubatana nemanesi edu pamwe chete nepolisi kuitira pane zvinenge zvaitika unokwanisa kumhanya kupolisi nenguva iyoyo uchiripota nyaya yako. Semaripotera atakaita nyaya yedu yatakasangana dambudziko redu yatakasangana naro, takakwanisa kumhanya kupolisi, mapurisa akatibatsira, mwana wedu akaenda kunotestwa zvechokwadi, akaonekwa mwana wedu akabatwa chibharo. Toda kupa kutenda pane mapurisa edu epaNyabhira police station kuti wakakwanisa kutitungamirira nyaya yedu. Iko zvino musungwa wedu ari kurimandi akamirira mutongo wake kuti wakamira sei.
As ZRP Nyabhira, we can confirm that we received that rape case of a 10-year-old juvenile who was raped by uncle Timothy Siwetu. The suspect was picked and was taken to court where he was remanded to 24 March. I would like to commend members of the public, especially the village workers who are in Nyabhira, for quickly assist police with the information.
What has become of Zimbabweans sexually abusing little children as young as 10 years or even younger? It will be brave injustice to allow such criminals to masquerade and enjoy the freedom entitled to responsible and law-abiding citizens. As the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we cannot condone such acts and will not allow them to persist. Keep us informed of any such criminality and we will not let you down.
A sad story indeed. Let us protect our children from any form of abuse at all times. Meanwhile, in Bulawayo, ZRP Ntumbane arrested one accused person for cultivation of daka, commonly known as mbanje.
ZRP Ntumbane received a tip-off to the effect that there was someone cultivating daka at number 3008 Makandeni. We sent out a team of our PI members to go and investigate the matter, and they got to the house, and for real they saw 4 plants measuring up to around 1.9 meters of daka. They looked around, and in one of the 4 runs there was also a plant that had been harvested. At the house there was a lady, an occupant aged 20 years, who revealed that the plants belonged to her uncle. The operatives then laid an ambush. When the uncle came back from work, they arrested him, and a search was further carried into the house where processed daka was discovered on top of a wardrobe covered by some clothes. The 4 plants were uprooted, and the 5th one and brought to station, and the case was further referred to CID drugs for further management.
In a similar incident, the Zimbabwe Republic Police confirms the arrest of 2 people in connection with unlawful possession of dangerous drugs on the 3rd of February 2021 at Masekesa Growth Point in Chiredzi. Police received information to the effect that the suspects were unlawfully dealing in daka at a certain house at Masekesa Growth Point. Detectives from CID Drugs and Narcotics reacted to the information and made a follow-up along Ngundu Tanganda Road, where they came across the suspect's Toyota Noah Vox motor vehicle, registration number ADP 9420, carrying suspicious sex. They pursued the vehicle and managed to apprehend the occupants. A search was conducted and 80 plastic packets of loose daka weighing 146.2 kilograms were recovered. The police will ensure that drug peddlers are arrested and taken to court for justice to prevail. The ZRP also confirms the arrest of 2 suspects, Stanley Chifamata, aged 26, and Aaron Samusodza, aged 27, in connection with the assault on 2 Neighborhood Watch Committee members in Chikanga Mutare on the 2nd of February 2021. The incident went viral on social media platforms on the 8th of February 2021. It is alleged that the suspects challenged the complainants, resulting in the scuffle, which ended up involving members of the public. The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe is a message to all motorists and passengers to consider all safety precautions at all times to prevent the worst effects of road traffic accidents.
In the interest of public safety, the Traffic Safety Council would like to advise motorists to refrain from actions that can increase the severity of accidents. We visited quite a number of highways just to observe the behavior of motorists. Of particular note is the fact that some drivers and vehicle occupants do not fasten seatbelts. Unbelted passengers and drivers can be thrown violently about, striking the windscreen, the dashboard and other interior parts in the event of an accident. There are some adults who are in the habit of carrying young children on their laps whilst they are occupying the front seat. The law prescribes that no person under the age of 10 can occupy the front seat. Therefore, parents should not allow children below the age of 10 in the front seat. One other disturbing behavior is when you see two people occupying the front seat of a vehicle. They therefore cannot use their seat belt and they are exposing both of themselves to danger. We also noticed that there are quite a number of vehicles which had insecure loads or overloading of goods or passengers. When a vehicle is overloaded, this affects the suspension of the vehicle and vehicle control is compromised. We are therefore urging members of the public to ensure that they follow all the rules. Drivers and vehicle occupants should refrain from the habit of fastening seat belts upon noticing a checkpoint. Soon after the checkpoint, they unbelt and expose themselves to danger. Let us belt up and save lives.
Crime Watch takes a short break. Join us shortly. We are now in the third and final segment of Crime Watch. ZRP Pumula in Bulawayo accounted for 3 accused persons for unlawful entry and theft and recovered some property.
We managed to get a tip-off of criminals who have been doing unlawful entry and theft in our policing area. This tip-off gave us information that there was one accused person who was now residing in the bush area, running away from the police. So we made the follow-up. We arrested that one accused person. After interviewing him, he gave us information which led us to arrest his 2 co-accused persons. The 3 criminals led us to recovering the items which we have here: television sets, gas tanks, gas stoves, and speakers. The information came from the members of the public. There is a relationship between ZRP and the community. That engagement is the one which has yielded these results of arresting the 3 criminals.
Still in Bulawayo, ZRP Cowdrey Park arrested 4 accused persons for unlawful entry and theft cases in Cowdrey Park and other areas in Bulawayo and recovered some property.
We arrested 4 accused persons for unlawful entry and theft in the Cowdrey Park area. We received information to the effect that Alec Mukanga was selling a property suspected to be stolen. We swiftly reacted to where Alec Mukanga resides. We managed to arrest the accused person, and we also managed to recover various electric gadgets. The accused person also implicated his 3 accomplices, and we managed to locate the 3 accomplices. The 3 accused persons were arrested after a chase. We also managed to recover various properties stolen at the 3 accused persons' place of residence. The 4 accused persons managed to indicate 6 cases where they entered during the night.
We now move on to the people on the police wanted list. Hamilton Chipunza of house number 20610, Unit B, Seke, Chitungwiza, is being sought by Chitungwiza police for a case of fraud. Redcliffe Police in Kwekwe is looking for Tafirenyika Musikwi, aged 30, of house number J13, Torwood, Redcliffe, for a case of theft. Dangamvura Police is looking for Isaac Mhlanga, of house number 9847, Pegasus, Dangamvura, Mutare, for rape. Anyone with information that may help in the location of these people can contact any nearest police station or contact us on the following details. Our National Complaints Desk number is 0242 703 631. Visit our website www.zrp.gov.zw. Our email address feedback@zrp.gov.zw. Alternatively, you can link with us on our Twitter handle @PoliceZimbabwe or like us on our Facebook page Zimbabwe Republic Police. Be reminded that all Crime Watch episodes are accessible on our YouTube channel Zimbabwe Republic Police. We have come to the end of this week's episode. It has been a pleasure having you along. As the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we encourage you to sanitize regularly, wear your mask religiously, practice social distancing at all times, and adhere to lockdown regulations to curb the spread of this novel virus. From me, Tendekai Dandaradzi, and the crew behind the scenes, pleasant viewing.